Hello, hello. Happy Wednesday afternoon. Hello. Happy Wednesday afternoon. Coming at you about 12:45 on this kind of dreary, cloudy Wednesday here in Minnesota. We are going to talk about self-sabotage today. This is a subject I've been wanting to chat with you guys and train on for some time. But to be honest, it's kind of hefty. There's a lot to cover. And when I think about it, I want to do it justice. And so it's prevented me from taking it on. But I have so many clients right now who need to hear this. We're going to keep it very simple for this first training. And we'll continue to dive into some of the nuances and things more deeply as we go. Excuse me. So, like always, if you watch this video, whether it's live or if you watch the recording for it, if you would, thumbs up or fist bump, comment on it in the comments, and you will be entered to win this week, it'll be a quick trip card at the end of the week. So I love you guys taking the time to kind of take in the information that we as coaches have prepared for you, and seeing you do that is something that really means a lot to us, because not only does it take the time that we go live and train on this subject, but obviously there's a lot of research that goes into this. And so it's a lot of time outside of just our life as well. So today we're going to talk about overcoming self-sabotage, unleashing our full potential. So this is something that we have seen as a common roadblock for a lot of clients. And sometimes this is something that can end their journey with us because they feel like this is one more thing that I've tried that didn't work, right? It's one more thing. Yep, just it. Dan, hey, good work. One more thing, like that. I tried this, it doesn't work. My body's broken. This doesn't work for me. Yep, I'm just destined to be this way forever. I'm destined to not find the right fit for me to feel my best or be my healthiest. And sometimes that's the end of a client's journey with us. But sometimes, more often than not, our goal and our role as coaches is to dig into, number one, to recognize self-sabotaging behavior and to dig into why this is happening, okay? That is our goal. So today we're going to understand self-sabotage. We're going to discuss what that is. We're going to define it. So things to think about when we look at self-sabotage is, do you see someone, or are you someone who's constantly setting goals but never reaching those goals, never getting there? And is there always a reason? Is there always an excuse? Is there always a way out? Yep, this always happens to me. I knew this was going to happen. Yeah, well, I don't know what I was thinking when I took this on because things never work out for me. If we find ourselves making these statements, are we demonstrating or creating some self-sabotaging behavior? We're going to recognize some of these signs. We're going to take a look at them and what they might be. And the goal is to help you to identify how this is impacting your life. You guys, some people say, like, I set a goal, but yet my behaviors keep taking me in this direction. I set a target, but this is where I always end up. And so seeing that, recognizing that about yourself, recognizing that about our clients is important, because you're coming to us, you're investing time in yourself, you're investing financially in yourself, you're being vulnerable, you're opening yourself up to this uncomfortable discomfort, this change, this lifestyle shift. And to do that, we want to see different results. You're working with us because you want to see change. And if we can help you create change by recognizing some of these maybe self-sabotaging behaviors, then what we're going to do is not going to work. So it's important that we kind of get comfortable being uncomfortable. So let's talk about the psychology of self-sabotage. What are some of the root causes? There can be really 4 core root causes of self-sabotage. It can be being raised in a very perfectionist environment. If you were raised with parents where you felt like nothing was ever good enough, no matter what you did, we weren't there. Like, no matter what, you can always do better. No matter what, we can always run faster. We can get better grades. We can work harder, whatever it is, feeling like good is never good enough. The opposite can be true with very controlling parents who are maybe destructively overly safe. Nope, don't do that because that's scary. Don't do that because that's dangerous. Don't put yourself out there because we open ourselves up to hurt. Just very overly cautious parents who never let you sort of skin your knee or kind of figure out and kind of make those mistakes on your own so that you can figure out how to grow and adjust. You never really had an opportunity to do that. The other thing that we see is learning those behaviors from friends or family, those own self-limiting beliefs. If we are constantly hearing our friends, our parents, the people we surround ourselves with say, I can't do that. I'm not good enough to do that. We can't afford to do that. I don't have enough money. I don't have the ability. I'm not smart enough. If we are constantly hearing self-limiting beliefs from our parents, those things can really play or have an impact on how we feel and those behaviors as well. And then the other thing that can have an impact is our own negative inner self-talk. Again, we might learn this from lots of other ways, but if we constantly see or hear this message running through our head over and over and over, you can't, I'm not good enough, it's not within my means, that's for other people, it's not for me, that internal dialogue really can play a role in our patterns of success, right? So how do we break this cycle? If we recognize that this is us, this is where we're at, how do we break the cycle? This is important, right? We have to become self-aware. And again, the benefits of working with a coach is not only is self-awareness important, but your coach will start to recognize these behaviors. Sometimes we'll notice in a check-in, every week we set goals based on your long-term goals. Maybe we're in a 3-week cut or a 3-month cut. And based on those goals, we set weekly targets. And every week we set a target. Maybe it's eat a vegetable every single day, get a serving of protein every single meal, and drink 80 ounces of water. And every week you come back and it's like, yeah, no, I didn't quite get my vegetable in and I missed my protein, 5 out of 7 days for our 3 targets. And, water was hit or miss because I forgot my water bottle and And we recognize these things and think, what is happening here? Week after week after week, you say you want the thing, but your actions are not aligning with what you say you want, okay? So this is where looking at cognitive dissonance can be helpful. Do you truly want the thing? Or is there a conflict here? Do you not actually want the thing, but you say you want the thing? Some people say, yeah, I want to exercise. But week after week, day after day, they're not actually exercising. So do we really want to exercise? Or is this something that you just feel like you should say? I just feel like I should say I want to exercise. I really don't. And I really don't want to take the actions to make it happen, but I just feel like I should. So I just say it. Let's dig into the root causes, right? We have to challenge these negative thought patterns. We have to, and again, this is where we as coaches have to stop and say, hey, I'm trying to think of a name of a client that I don't coach. Bob, for the last 3 weeks, you've told me that our goal is to get in movement. First week, we set 3 workouts. You got in 1. Second week, we set 2 workouts and a step goal. We did half of those things. This is now the 3rd week. So we have to challenge, if you don't have a coach working with you, to say, hey, your actions are not aligning with your words. So where are we actually at? If you don't have a coach to challenge those negative patterns, you have to be willing to do it yourself. Hey, I've told myself 3 weeks in a row this is what I was going to do, and I haven't done it. Why? What really do I want? And what is stopping my actions from leading to what I actually want? So challenge negative thought patterns. First of all, you have to recognize them. Recognize them. First thing, when you see it, stop and say, okay, what's happening? I'm hearing this voice inside my head. I'm hearing this constant rolling message. Okay, recognize it and challenge it. Thirdly, we need to cultivate a growth mindset. How does that, like, that's major. This is like a webinar, a training all in itself. How do we cultivate a growth mindset? Ultimately, it really comes down to being humble. Be humble, be willing to learn, be willing to change, be willing to adapt, be willing to get uncomfortable. Stop saying never, I don't like, I can't. Let go of those statements from your own internal dialogue and from your own vocabulary. I choose not to, right? I choose not to do this, or right now this is not a fit for me, or this is not working for me because, but let go of those blanket negative statements. Practical strategies to overcome self-sabotage. Okay, so what are some practical ways that we can really look at these things and overcome them on a daily basis? Set clear goals. Make them simple, make them smart, right? Clear, achievable, time, with a timeline. Set simple goals, okay? Secondly, create an environment that supports that. Whether it's your husband, your wife, your kids, your best friend, your running group, your gym peeps, some of us in the Mastering Nutrition Summit Health tribe, your workmates, your teammates, whatever that is, create a supportive environment. Hey, here are my goals. My goal is for the next 3 weeks to eat protein every day, to get in 80 ounces of water, and to not skip any workouts. Hold yourself accountable. Communicate that to someone and let them hold you accountable as well. Develop healthy habits and routines. If constantly, let's see, for example, if your goal is to drink 80 ounces of water, get your water bottle. Keep your water bottle with you absolutely everywhere you go. If your goal is to not miss workouts, set your clothes out, put it in your calendar, tell somebody you're going to be there. Whatever it is, create those routines, create those habits so that there's less disruption or what's the word I'm thinking of? Less, I can't think of the word. Interference. Remove the interference, okay? Again, here, seek accountability and support. Reach out to a coach, reach out to a friend, reach out to a colleague, teammate, workout partner, someone to create that accountability. This requires mindfulness and really some self-compassion too, you guys. This is not going to be, just because we recognize this is what's happening, it's not going to be the flip of a switch. It's not going to be all of a sudden, yeah, oh, perfect. I recognize this is what I'm doing and it's so easy to just not do it. This is something that I don't know a single person has not dealt with. It's something that I spent kind of years working through myself and still recognize patterns. In fact, I was listening to a podcast the other day that literally cut me to the core because I realized, I'm like, you are absolutely doing this. You are absolutely, the statement that you are saying over and over and over, you are self-sabotaging yourself, and I didn't even know it, right? And I'm trained to recognize these things. So it happens to all of us. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when, and it's a matter of what are we going to do about it, okay? So techniques: stay present, stay focused. You've heard me talk a lot about grounding. You've heard me a lot of talk about Bible study and meditation, taking time to just be present, to just be aware, sitting outside, just observing what's around you. There's a couple apps. There's one called Awake. It's so funny. Sam Awake. What is it called? Why? Every morning I get a little reminder from it. Let me see if I can find it. Waking up. What is the waking up? That's what it is. I love this app. I am terrible. Again, you guys know me. If I'm going to do like some guided breathing or intentional meditation for presence, I have to do that. Like, I get distracted. I need something to guide me through it, right? I love this app because it does that. It just take 3 minutes, observe what's around you. What do you smell? What do you feel? How does the wind feel on your skin? What sounds are you hearing? What do you think is making those sounds? It just such interesting little cues to help us to really be present and tune in. Treat yourself with kindness and compassion. When you recognize these negative you recognize this thought, you recognize this pattern. Oh, you're so stupid. Why are you doing this? You know what's happening. Why do you keep doing this? Why would we treat one negative with another negative? Give yourself compassion, give yourself grace. Hey, I see that this is happening and I understand that we're trying to break this habit, but it's okay. We're all imperfect. We're doing the best we can. It's going to take time. Give yourself compassion, give yourself grace, the same way that you would your best friend. Think about setbacks and failures, not as a setback, as a failure, but simply what can I learn from this? It's going to happen. We will have setbacks. We will fail, right? Fail forward. Set back and let that propel you forward. Journal about what we learned from this. Journal about what you recognize from this. Journal about the patterns. And this is something every week that we do with our clients. Hey, we had a plan. The plan didn't work. Let's talk about why. Let's dive into that. Let's explore that a little bit more. Tell me what happened going into the event. Tell me what happened at the event. Okay, all right. So next time, what can we do differently to learn from this, right? And then a setback and a failure doesn't become that. It becomes a push forward. It becomes momentum to learn, be better, and to grow, right? We need to build resilience. What is resilience? Resilience is being able to respond quickly to adversity, to setbacks, to challenges. It's okay. Yeah, I feel like the wind got knocked out of me, but I'm going to stand back up. And what am I going to do to move forward with my face, to the wind and standing tall and erect? Building that resilience is being responsive to those setbacks, right? Opportunities for growth, things that we can really learn from, and cultivate perseverance. Understand that it's never going to be perfect and stop expecting it to be, because it's not going to be. So understanding that, hey, I am someone who's resilient. I'm someone who perseveres. I'm someone who gains growth and strength in adversity, and I can do hard things. Embrace perseverance. Talking about action planning, set actionable steps to overcome this, right? Whether it's lay it out, write it out, maybe put it in, you guys see my whiteboards. I try to put everything on my whiteboards. I'll write them on my mirror, my bathroom mirror, whatever you need to do to set actionable goals to overcome these things can be very, very helpful. Creating a personalized plan. If this is something that you're struggling with and you're not working with a coach, you guys, whether you're aware or not, we do what's called power hours. If we need to sit down and we need to have a sort of self-sabotaging self-plan for you, we can talk about recognizing behaviors, what an actionable plan for you is. It's 1 hour, you pay for that one time, and then you move on with the plan. If you want to check back in later, later on, if you're still struggling, we can, but that's a way that we can support you and help you create a plan, and you can have sort of another set of eyes on what's happening. This is important, you guys. Track your progress. We see this again with clients with their goals. They're constantly like, oh, the scale isn't moving, da, 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 da. And yet we have to stop and say, hey, I'm sleeping better. I'm not experiencing so much bloat. My energy is way better. I've PR'd lifts in the gym. I'm feeling so much more focused. My jeans are fitting. In fact, this just happened. A client said, she's like, I put my jeans on. I didn't have to do any squats. I didn't have to jump into them or do any fun moves to get it. She's like, I just put my jeans on, I buttoned them up and I went. That's a stinking win. So look at the things, look at the places that you are progressing and make adjustments where you need it, right? Okay, so you guys, I want you to ask questions. If you have questions, Jeff, I'm happy you're on here. That's awesome. If you have questions about self-sabotage, if you have questions about behaviors that you're seeing, I would love for you to either direct message any one of our Summit Health coaches, direct message your coach, or feel free, if you're comfortable, post it in the comments. I promise you, this is not something that you've probably dealt or struggled with alone. Somebody else has had the thought, the feeling, the same exact struggle. So if you're comfortable, share it, and we will absolutely address it. So in conclusion, you guys, I hope you recognize a little bit more what self-sabotage is, maybe where it comes from. Sometimes understanding the root causes or what maybe has caused these things can be helpful. But you guys, that's only the beginning. It just gives us some insight, but ultimately the tools, the action plan, the strategy for you in overcoming these self-sabotaging behaviors is what really matters. I want to share just a little bit of a story. Two clients two to sort of different journeys. One client has tried losing weight on her own for many, many years and came to Summit Health because she felt like she needed the accountability. We right away were able to recognize that probably some of the biggest roadblocks for her was this self-sabotaging behavior. Every time she would start to see success, there would be something. Every time we would get in a roll, we would have 2-3 weeks consistency, there was something. And then we'd have a week of untracked food. We'd have days, of this life got, poop at the fan, life got crazy, this is what happened. And so we'd have 2 great weeks and a week where we fell off, and 2 great weeks and a week where we fell off. Recognizing these behaviors, we were able to dig into what was causing it and what was actually the limiting factor or causing these self-sabotaging behaviors. And for her, it was really her self-perception. She did not actually see herself as being someone who would ever really change, who would ever really be a different size, who would ever really be someone different. And once we were able to recognize that self-limiting belief and incorporate mantras, incorporate regular daily exercises, incorporate more support for her, after a year and a half, we were able to really get her to her goal, and she has stayed there, which has been absolutely phenomenal. Another experience that we've had closely with self-sabotage is a client seeing tremendous success, but having some friends be on this journey with her, even family members be on not similar journey, meaning working with Summit Health, but similar journey in goals, and seeing those friends kind of fall off, seeing those friends not see success. She started behaving and demonstrating some self-sabotaging behavior because she felt like, why do I deserve this over them? Why do I deserve to see success when I feel like they deserve it as much as I do, but they're not getting there? And so why would I want to continue to be successful when they're not? Again, these can be hard things. This is uncomfortable. And so we have to have the conversation, whether it be with ourselves or our coach, be willing to be uncomfortable, to address the discomfort and figure out what is the core issue and how do we create values and principles and systems around it to move forward and break through those roadblocks. So I hope this was helpful, you guys. Again, let us know if you watched it, fist bumps or thumbs up in